our organization is called Popular Resistance. You can visit the website at popularresistance.org. And one of the campaigns that we've been involved in since 2014 is the fight to make the internet a place where everybody has equal access, where there's no discrimination, and telecom like Verizon, Comcast, AT&T can't charge people more money to go certain places on the internet. And the way that this kind of links into the manifesto from the People's Congress of Resistance is that the very first point of the manifesto is about meeting our social needs and securing the means of life. And today, the internet is actually a fundamental requirement for people. If you want to apply for a job, you have to do that on the internet. If you want to buy health insurance or sign up for Medicaid, you have to do that on the internet. I know there's so much information for people to learn on the internet. People get, education online. We use it in our organizing. We use it in creating a citizens media so that we can share and cover what's going on in our communities when the corporate media doesn't do that. So it really is fundamental. And in 2014, we are part of a coalition that fought and won what was called reclassification of the internet as a common carrier. It made it have the same kind of classification as a public utility like electricity or water, and it gave the Federal Communications Commission, or FCC, the power to force the telecoms to treat it that way, to make sure that people have access to the internet. It also prevents them from like speeding up certain websites, like ABC News could purchase more ability to have faster website loading times, and then all our websites would be very slow in comparison, and people would not have access to them as easily. It could, it prevented the telecoms from kind of turning the internet into cable TV where you have to buy packages. So maybe you want to use the Google search engine, but you have to buy the premium package to do that. Or if you want to watch YouTube videos, you have to have the premium package. So it was a hard-won change that forced the FCC to treat the internet as a common carrier. And the current chairman of the FCC, Ajit Pai, who was put in that position by President Trump, he actually has been at the FCC for a while and voted against net neutrality in 2015. He came into this position this year as chair of the FCC, openly saying that he wanted to get rid of net neutrality. And so all through the year, groups have been fighting back. There have been millions of people that submitted public comments. There have been actions across the country. And now we're coming down to the end of this phase of this fight, because on December 14th, the FCC is going to vote on Ajit Pai's plan to end net neutrality. So there's a lot of actions that people have been taking. There's been a very strong response, which is great to see. It actually crosses the political spectrum, but more than 700,000 people have called Congress to urge them to slow down or stop the FCC from voting to end net neutrality on December 14th. There's a tool that makes it really easy for people to use, and if you want to find that, it's called battleforthenet.com, and I'll tell you where you can find all this information at the end. But if you go to battleforthenet.com, it has a tool where it just walks you right through the process and makes it easy for you to call your member of Congress. And you can call your members more than once. You can call them every day or every other day. But it's really critical that up until December 14th, that we are calling Congress and urging them to step in and take action and stop the FCC in this very anti-democratic and unusual process. It's very unusual for a head of an agency to come in with an agenda that goes so strongly against the public and, and doesn't even listen to what the public and many other groups are saying. Businesses and tech companies have been, commenting as well and submitting letters to the FCC. The second thing that you can do is that on December 7th, this coming Thursday, there's going to be a national day of action. The current chair of the FCC left his position as a lawyer for Verizon to work at the FCC. And so we are saying that he is behaving as if he still works for Verizon and not for the people. So there are going to be protests all across the country at Verizon offices. And if you go to the website Verizon Protest with an S at the end, .com, VerizonProtest.com, you can find an action near you, or you can post an action if you want to hold one in your community. So there are already hundreds of actions posted there, so we think it's going to be a very big day. And that night in Washington, D.C., there's going to be a big event that the telecom companies like Comcast and Verizon put on. We call it the Telecom Prom, and there are going to be protests outside of that as well. And I'll give you information, or a place where you can find more information at the end. The third thing that you can do is that December 13th into the 14th, we're going to be protesting outside of the FCC. So there's going to be a march the morning of December 13th, and this is a Wednesday morning, so I know that makes it tough for some people. But we're going to be meeting there at 10 a.m. and doing a march. And then when we get back to the FCC that afternoon, we're planning to stay and stay through the night and into the morning. We'll be doing activities like projecting messages on the building. We'll be passing out information to the employees as they leave work. We'll be doing, holding signs up. It's a very highly trafficked area, a lot of cars and buses that pass by. And then in the morning, we'll be there. And if we have a strong enough presence and enough people who are willing, we'll be, trying to prevent the employees and the commissioners from voting to stop net neutrality. So you can get information for all of these at our website, popularresistance.org. And if you look at the top slider, you'll see one of the three sliders has information about this. You click on that and you'll find information about Battle for the Net, about Verizon protests, and about the December 13th and 14th protests. But we, so many people are upset about this, are taking action. It's an uphill battle to stop this vote, but we believe that we should, do everything that we can to try to prevent them from voting, to end net neutrality. And if they do vote to end net neutrality, there's still more that we can do to continue to challenge it and protect the internet. Already people are putting together court challenges. So this is just one of those very fundamental things that impacts each of us in our daily lives, and also as organizers impacts our ability to get our word out about what we're doing, to educate people with messages that counter what they're hearing in the corporate media. And so it's really a fundamental, right to the internet that we have to protect. So please get involved and spread the word if you can. Thank you.